Poppy culture from the fallen state of heroin or the chemical realm to heroine, the female victorious one. Pop culture, the millennium worldview that encompasses understanding widely shared and embraced by the exoteric external perception. The hero's journey involves leaving the ordinary world, the fallen state, in order to answer the call to action or one's insight. This call leads to an adventure, learning lessons, to win a victory with newfound gnosis, and then the return home transfigured. Transfigured means to change into something more beautiful, exalted, and often involving a significant outward transformation brought about by the inward essence that elevates one to a higher state. Unfortunately, the farther one is involved in non-reality, the more the experience is medicinal or chemical through the senses. Poppy is the opioid currently consuming the unconscious. The world ego deceptively uses language to affect the subconscious programming or hypnotic state. For instance, codeine, an opioid pain reliever, and the use of the word coding, the process of assigning classification or identification, such as DNA. These homonyms affect the result, consequence, and outcome of behavior. Codeine is a sleep-inducing drug derived from morphine. The suffix "ine" is from Greek kodia, which means poppy head. Coding converts the words of a message in order to convey a secret meaning, a written code, or a computer program, or in biochemistry, specify the genetic sequence. One may glean how confusion between these words, codeine and coding, translate unconscious, conscious, and subconscious. In various symbolic systems, chemicals cause blindness, illusion, and the belief in separation, versus alchemical, the substance which are linked to deity and awakening concepts. This association stems from beliefs that these external substances possess inherent power of transformative potential that mirror the creative nature attributed to God's hallucinations. Because hallucinate is the experience of an apparent sensory perception of what is not actually present, will only exist as mind. The body has natural pain relievers called endorphins. These are hormones produced by the brain that act on opioid receptors, which blocks the perception of pain and they also trigger other feel-good chemicals like dopamine, which contributes a sense of well-being. For codeine, the interior of the physical body is the hardware, while coding is the external process of changing ideas, solutions, and instructions into the language a computer understands. The concept of the world or mind as a spiritual computer, brainwaves, is a metaphor used to explore the interconnectedness and information processing aspects of the mental or psyche. These draw parallels between the structure and functions of computers, the brain, and philosophical ideas of subconscious. This metaphor suggests that mind, the mechanical, like a computer, processes information. Like the brain during an orgasm releases several chemicals that contribute to the experience of pleasure and bonding or attachments. The chemicals released from within the body include dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins. Dopamine, the reward system and feelings of pleasure. Oxytocin is called the love hormone, promoting feelings of connection and bonding. That is really a lust hormone. Endorphins, pain relievers that contribute to the pleasurable sensations associated with orgasm. And prolactin offers the feeling of satisfaction. At the point of orgasm, the brain releases massive amounts of oxytocin and dopamine. So it is no great surprise that sex, especially as an industry, is unparalleled in scope for pleasure. The pharmaceutical industry is nothing more than the world ego, capitalizing on inherent chemistry as the counterfeit dealers of feeling good. The word aphrodisiac comes from aphrodisios, pertaining to Aphrodite, the goddess of love. This is taking advantage of one's original state by substituting a placebo as love. Long lost is the ultimate state of joy and liberation, achieved by the ecstatic states of pure consciousness, the alchemical. The world ego is the source of suffering. Purity in consciousness is not a feeling in the way typically understood. Mahasukha is a concept that signifies non-dual bliss that arises from realization of emptiness, no self, anatta, the enlightened. Illusion brings one of photochemistry, a branch of chemistry concerned with the chemical effects of light. Isn't it odd? Lucifer is the light bringer. This term is used to describe a chemical reaction caused by absorption of ultraviolet, developing wavelengths from 100 to 400 nanometers. The heroine, a female hero, is the overcomer of the illusion. Heroin is man-made from morphine and very addictive. This opioid drug comes from opium poppy plants in order to compete with the body's own pain relievers and the suppression of the purity of subconscious. The heroine, a female who is admired for being brave or having achieved greatness. The way out is within. There is nothing greater than actualizing Christ, material consciousness, the abode of soul, the only presence. She restoreth soul, the ideal. Popular culture or poppy culture, certain chemicals like ammonia are linked to a deity like Jupiter Ammon in ancient Libya. The Hindu Trinity is chemical elements linked to the concept of Brahma, creation or photochemicals, Vishnu, preservation or coding, and Shiva's destruction, codeine, the sleep inducer or unconsciousness. In essence, this symbolic association with chemicals with gods reflect the world ego attempt to understand and connect with truth externally, viewing the chemical processes as analysis of power and transformation. The only power is internal. This internal reality is not within the physical body, but meditation is the process of shutting out these diabolical light codes. And in contrast with the elements involved with the practice of the fabricated, alchemy is that which is primal materia or consciousness forever in perfect agreement. This essence or higher quality reflects wisdom in perfect harmony. Meditation never results in discord or destructive states of consciousness. Christ's material consciousness is beyond chemistry. She is the clarity or transparency exclusively and without compromise to the world ego fabricated systems of medicine or light codes. In other words, poppy culture is the outer basis of how one interacts with the environment. Once one has overcome the illusion, the poppy culture loses its grip.